nasty peapod.
Yeah. Here I'm all I can say, because Annabelle wasn't here. Guess not. Maybe I should go beat my crackers.
Yeah, because them nasty. I don't know what.
I'll save for later.
I just wasn't on what human being eats those. Like, that's so nasty.
What are you talking about?
That's disgusting.
What is it? Save for later.
You don't eat you do.
Alright, now Lacey came in Annabelle's absence.
I wasn't late, so my feelings were.
She came in right after.
No, I didn't.
Joe's here, Sylvia's here, Destiny's back
I got a
there.
whole story here.
Kayak, Cable's back there.
No, he turns out I was late.
Dylan, Ellie's here, Jayla's here. Alondra, Kevin, Sarah Lynn, Madison, Noah. Chris is back there. Victory's back there. Kara, Joy, Rosanna, Aaron, Betty.
I was just gonna be possibly.
Cheyenne came in, Nadia's not back there.
You are.
Okay.
For now, and then you'll be like,
And papers.
I talked to you. It's just like, it's not. I mean, it wasn't really practice.
No. Right.
Well, I gotta explain.
Huh? Yes.
Miss Wall, what was the answer to this one? Was it the electrons are in a different spot?
Different
I was gonna put that too, and I was like, no, that's wrong. Wow.
different location and different number of electrons.
That's some bullshit.
Sorry. If you read that answer, it would be right.
What are you looking for?
Nothing. Shut up.
Why are you up?
Shut up.
Sit down.
Shut up.
No. Please.
I cried.
You need 62.
Yeah, I was crying yesterday. And you didn't try to talk to me.
She's back.
Y'all really out here excessive. I'm struggling right now. I'm crying myself to sleep.
You should ask Annabelle.
That's what we're close with 84 electrons. I was tired.
I had a calendar so many times. I just couldn't get on break.
And I probably still got it wrong.
Did you do that on the quiz? I should knock that crap off.
Sorry.
Yeah.
A bunch of shit to say for you.
I just put the total. I was like all the
You
last
need to repeat the losses after those last couple.
Yes, I did.
I want to be right on it.
You did. You came back like a champ.
Miss Wall, fill your papers out.
Who's my second writer on a quiz this whole? Oh.
Yes, one.
I said yes.
I took one.
Thanks for being
Did you put
conservative.
negative?
Shirley.
Destiny's trying to kill me with all her crap in the election.
Yeah.
Kevin's got a whole lot of
Yeah.
Oh.
Which one did you miss?
What do you mean?
He's a big one.
I'm old and fragile. I can't follow that stuff.
You don't look right.
All right. So we look at our opening. All right. Cobalt has how many? Do I need to draw the chart?
It's a lot.
27.
No.
Let me just do it because we're gonna need it later.
Oh my God.
Make this thing skinnier.
We about to take 15 minutes.
No, we're not.
Where's the car?
Fix that because I'm doing something stupid.
Look, yeah, I was thinking about Yeah.
All right, so cobalt has how many electrons? 27. All right, what's first in our chart?
1s.
How many lines go above 1s? 2s has how many lines? 2p has how many lines? 3s has how many lines? 3p has how many lines? 4s has how many lines? 3d has how many lines? That's enough for 30 electrons, so I've got 27 covered. All right? Everybody good so far? Or do I need to go back? Go back. All right, where do I need to go back to? Everything, all right. I've drawn the arrows. Like how I drew the arrows there?
No, you better put the electrons.
Oh, okay. All right. So 27 electrons.
Right.
So where's the first electron going? On 1s. Now, is 1s full? So where's the second electron going? It's got to go on 1s, right? So it's got to go down so they spin in opposite directions. Are we okay with that thing? Okay, so the second electron's going on 2s. All right, is 2s full? So the second electron has to go on 2s. Okay? Now, number 5 is going on 2p. From there, we've got to fill 2p. But this is Hund's rule. This is a 3-bedroom house. So number 6 goes here. Number 7 goes here. But this is like, oops, mom had children. Filled up some bedrooms. We can't add an addition, so children have to share. So number 8 is sharing. Number 9 is sharing. And number 10 is sharing. Now that 2p is full, the electrons have to go where? To where? 3s. So number 11 goes here, and then number 12 does what? It goes down. Okay? 13 again goes up, 14 goes up, and 15 goes up because they take their own room.
Right.
You put what? Oh. You see how I fixed it? Okay. So now we're at 20. So we need to put 7 more in D. Can you tell me how I'm going to put the 7 in D? Am I going to put the 7 in D? All of them go up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm at 25. Need 2 more. Yep. There's 27. Yes, Faith, we're proud of you. You did a good job. All right, everybody okay with cobalt? All right. So, if we do the same thing, what I give you? Bromine. All right, bromine has what? 35. So 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Those are half arrows because I'm lazy. All right, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We need how many more? 35, right? 33, 34, 35.
Yep. That's right.
Wait, what? Oh.
This is actually kind of easy. Why is like okay, sure.
Right,
It's like half arrows.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a whole lot faster to draw than full arrows.
All you had to do was add one arm.
Yeah, but this is a lot faster than drawing. Just faster. All right. Now, homework. No, I'm not checking that
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
But the good news is, starting next week, I'll be grading for a new quarter. So now I will be interested in homework again. I'm not interested now. But now I'll be on a new quarter. I'll be interested again. Not interested today because for the most part, the grade you see in Power School, is your quarter grade. Okay. The next quiz will best guess be Tuesday because we will not finish enough today to quiz on Monday. And so Tuesday I will start the new quarter. So if I check homework Monday, it's going on the new quarter too. All right. So homework. What was the first question I gave? Because I don't remember. All right. So chromium has what? 24? 1s. And I'm going to draw them all the way out because we're going to use our homework questions like I told you for today. And I told you to leave a little space. Okay. Y'all can just squeeze it up then. Or flip back and forth. If you didn't do it, well, I guess you could just draw it when you need it or not have any practice. So I need what? 24? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So there's chromium. What's the next one?
That's 3D.
Oh, I said D and wrote a P.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next? Germanium. All right. So germanium is 32. All right.
That's why you got some supersonic glasses. How do you read that?
I'm going to teach you my method when I get down there. Number 5 today.
Number 5.
All right, then we need 4P. We need 3 lines and 2 arrows. Germanium only has 2 electrons in the P, so 2 arrows. Any questions about germanium?
No.
Okay.
Wait, can you say the name again?
Germanium.
From Germany.
Wait,
All right. What?
What? I had.
You had it wrong.
Yeah, I had it wrong, but I don't know. Wow, like because 3D, I put 4 of the arrows, you know, and then for the last one, I put an arrow up, and then 4P, I had 3.
Because you didn't have this one full. If you only had 9 arrows and not 10, that's why. It has to have 10 arrows, and you said you had 9 arrows. Okay? All right, give me the next one. Cesium. It's pronounced cesium, but.
Caesar.
Yeah, trying to get
What comes after 4P? 5S? 1 line, 1 arrow. All right. Nope, I gotta keep going.
Yes, you do.
I was hopeful. This one ends on 6S1, doesn't it?
Yeah.
6S1.
Wait, oh.
I was doing rubidium. All right, next.
Polonium.
Yeah, no, 84.
Oh my
Right,
God.
yeah.
Okay.
That one was not good. The one that you put in the
Why'd you make this?
right?
What's the
Polonium.
Who came up with the names of these? Like this is
They're named after countries or locations, planets, people. Yeah, planets, people. There's 2 more things. I forget what they are though. Latin names. Latin names, and there's 1 more. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head
so
though.
this is Poland.
Yeah, polonium is named after Poland. It's named after Marie Curie's home country.
Is that because you found it?
It's because she's the person who discovered it.
Wasn't
Yes.
she like a crazy lady who tried to blow everything up or something?
No, she worked with discovering elements, and she discovered radioactivity.
Yeah, that's what I was. There we go. Did she like do the X-ray or something?
Yeah, she worked with a French scientist named Henri Becquerel.
Did she? Somebody got. Are you using the chef PDF thing?
4D, 5P. All right, after 6S is 4F, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. And then 5P.
And then 5D.
Dang!
Right, that's what I mean. I was getting outside, like.
That's too much. Yeah, you can go ahead and teach shorthand, because ain't nobody better write that.
Yeah, 6P4.
Is there a shorter way to do it? Like, is there a way to?
All right. Did I give one after quantum or are we done?
We're done. They are. We ain't gotta do that right now.
Well, I need them for dot diagrams in a few minutes. That's what I'm doing.
We can just pick one.
Right.
No, because next week half of y'all are going to tell me, I don't know how to do dot diagrams.
Well, we don't. I'm gonna tell you this week. Next week and the week after.
That's what I want to do.
3D, 4S, 4P.
I got 5
All right, we said Krypton?
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be 4P. All right. Did you check your answers?
Yes.
Yeah. No.
Now, when I ask you to do this on the next quiz, I'll even tell you the questions that are on the next quiz. It's orbital notation, it's 2 electron configurations, 2 dot diagrams, and 2 shorthands.
Oh, no.
So 2 of everything that we
2 of everything we're learning.
2 of everything.
So are we okay with orbital notation? Because you have to be able to do orbital notations to do dot diagrams.
Yeah.
All right, now, I'm tired of drawing arrows. I don't know about the rest of y'all. All right. All right. Let's see if I can cut and paste this stuff. Huh? It'll be Tuesday.
Why they have to do arrows? Couldn't they come up with something smaller than arrows?
Nope, I'm not
Like,
going.
no, it's right.
I don't know why we could do this. Can't do it today. All right. This one's going away. I don't know which one it was, but it's gone. All right. So.
Is this notes?
Yep.
Girl, you ain't gonna tell it before we start.
All right. For some odd reason, I can't get the thing to copy and paste today, so we're just going to erase. So we're going to talk about electron configurations. Now, electron configurations are different from orbital notations because, first of all, there are no arrows in our future, which makes them much shorter because we're not drawing any arrows. They also only show total electrons in the sublevel. And for those of you who are slow-witted out there, your classmates are asking you politely to be quiet so that you can hear me. Now, so that means turn around, be quiet, and stop talking. Now, electron configurations are shorter than orbital notations because in orbital notations, you had to show every single electron in every single orbital. In electron configurations, we're only showing the total electrons in the sublevel. So we're adding them all up, okay? So, to illustrate how...
Miss Wall,
Yes, ma'am.
Cameron is leaving.
Okay.
Okay.
So to illustrate how this is shorter, if we draw the electron configuration for chromium, which I believe is the one that we had on the board that I erased, which has 24 electrons. Okay? Yes, sir. I can give you the periodic table. We're going to color code, but the homework will just be things I write on the board. Yeah. No. All right, so what's the first thing we read in the chart?
1s.
Now, again, we're only showing total electrons in the sublevel. So how many electrons can S hold?
2.
So we write a 2 here to illustrate the electrons that it can hold.
See, that's whack.
All right, what's the next thing in the chart?
2s.
How many electrons can S hold? Cannot hold 4, because an S sublevel can only hold how many? 2. What's next in the chart? 2p. How many electrons can a p sublevel hold? 6. So at this point, we've placed 2 plus 2, which is 4, plus 6, which is 10. We're not at 24 yet. So back to the chart. What comes after 2p? And I accidentally moved the arrows a minute ago, so they're a little off. Hold on. That's what I needed a minute ago, and I couldn't get it to do it. Okay, that's useless.
It's okay, friend.
Never mind. All right, so what comes after 2p? 3s. How many again can go in an S? 2. All right. What comes after 3s? How many can we put in a 3p? All right. After 3p, how many can go in S? 2. All right. Let's count again and see where we're at. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. Okay, we're almost there. What comes after 4s? 3d. Now, D can hold how many? It can hold 10, but again, we only want to go to what number? 24. So we're at 20. So 20 plus 4 gets us 24.
So what? That's just how.
Why do we have to write it the other way?
A, it's on the exam, and B, this makes no sense if we don't know what the other means. Plus, we need the other for dot diagrams. You thought what?
So when we get to the last one, we just like subtract what we got left.
Yes, because you want these, which are the electrons, right here, to add up to total the atomic number, the total number of electrons. Okay? All right, so if we do a different one, everybody have this? Because clearly I can't get the chart, copy and paste, and I'm not rewriting it. All right, if I say that we're going to do, let's do molybdenum, molybdenum. All right, MO. It's pronounced molybdenum, but a lot of people pronounce it molybdenum.
Oh, that's like a drug.
All right, what number of electrons does it have? 42? All right, so 42 electrons. What's the first thing in the chart? All right, how many electrons?
2.
All right, next. How many electrons?
2.
Next.
2p.
How many electrons?
6.
We're at 10, so keep going.
3s 2.
Next.
3p is 6.
Next.
4s is 2.
4s2 puts us at 20. So we need more. 3d. D is how many? All right, that's going to jump you all the way up to 30 because 20 plus 10 is 30. All right, next after 3d, I hear 4p. P can hold how many? That's 36. We're getting warm. What's after 4p? 5s can hold how many?
2.
Okay, there's 38. We're almost there. What's after 5s?
4s.
Nope, my lines are just jacked up. I need to redraw this thing.
4d.
4d.
Oh Lord, we gotta subtract.
There. All right, so 4d means how many?
4.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, we got it?
Yes.
All right, let's have you do.
No.
Let's do sulfur and indium. You do those two. And then we're going to do dot diagrams. Indium. And neither of those are really long. You're not drawing the arrows.
Oh, wow.
It's like Indian but ain't that long.
I did.
But 49 is not arrows. Stop complaining. I thought about giving you thallium, which is like 81.
No, I have to get a free. I think so. How do you go?
Like this.
That's a calculator.
If you started about your body, if you started about your weight,
I'm like, what? Who got me?
I really don't know what to do. I'm gonna do something that's easy so I know.
You done?
You have to.
Yeah. Like stop breaking along the platform. All right. So for S, 1S, 2, 2S, 2, 2P, 6, 3S, 2, 3P, 4. We okay with that one?
Yes.
Okay. So for indium, we have 1S, 2, 2S, 2, 2P, 6, 3S, 2, 3P, 6, 3S, sorry, shush, I'm on the wrong road. 4S2, 3D, 10, 4P, 6. Keep going.
5S2, 40, 10, 5P1.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Are you reading it off that?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I'm going to teach you that.
Hurry up.
5S2, 40, 10, 5P, 1. Everybody okay with that? It's all part of shorthand. Everybody good? All right, so dot diagram. It's a secret code.
Do we color them?
No, after dot diagrams. Do you see where it says color up there? You're not sold. All right.
Are we done with those configurations?
Yes. All right. Dot diagrams. Now, dot diagrams show the least of anything. Dot diagrams only show outer shell electrons. If I had to guess which one you'll see on the exam, given there are only 45 questions, this is the one you'll see. Okay? Because out of all the stuff that I will teach you this semester, you will only see 45 questions. Okay? You are not going to see everything that I teach you during the course of the semester. What things you will see, I have absolutely no idea. I've not seen the exam in years. Okay? Because I've not seen it in so long, I do not know what will be on that exam. That is very true. I'm counting on that. Now, because of that, if I have to guess, this is the one you will see. Now, how are you going to find outer shell electrons? Well, the first thing you have to know is what is an inner shell and what's an outer shell electron. So, if we take what you know, all right, outer shell is defined as the highest main energy level. Now, the inner shell, you're going to love this definition. It's basically anything that is not the outer shell.
Oh my God.
She's like,
Pick your head up, Miss Walker, pick your head up.
It's anything that is not the outer shell. The worst part is, since it just crashed, it may have lost all those really long electron configurations I just wrote.
Anything that is not the outer shell.
It just crashed again.
I just got a text from the exterminator because I forgot I was supposed to meet him at 10:15. I was like, did you get tired of the room? Yes, I did.
Here's bad Shelby.
jail.
It's going to get to the point that I'm going to need to start saving as we go through the class. Did everybody write anything that's not the outer shell?
Inner shell.
The inner shell is anything that is not the outer shell. That's the definition.
What is that is not the highest main?
The highest main energy level. I mean, it may give me the option to find crash data, and I should get everything back but that page. Sometimes it doesn't.
Why
We'll
is it
see.
keep crashing?
The hard drive's going on this computer.
It's gone.
It's going.
It's going.
It's crashing. It's going to be non-fixable. They've told me not to save anything on this hard drive, so I don't.
Why don't they give you a new one?
Because all of the hard drives of this age or this type of computer are as old as this one. So they don't think it'll fix the problem.
Oh, so you need a new computer.
Basically, yep. They've asked me if I mind a full screen desktop. I'm like, I don't care. I just need something that works.
Yeah, they just. Oh, you should get one. Those are the nice ones.
I'm like, I don't care. I just need one that functions.
Because at this point,
That one over there is the one they gave me when they did the remodel, but I couldn't see anything on the screen, so when I'd move the mouse, I had to look at that screen, and that got really irritating. So this is what they gave me in place of it. Because that one doesn't have enough graphics to be able to support the computer and the screen.
yeah, if y'all know to get dry, that's great.
Great. Because we want to all use your nasal spray.
You can always clean it off. It works so nice. Y'all, I breathe so quickly after I use these things. It like loosens up any like dry stuff you got up there. Like when you get sick and get dry, it was the worst.
So this
thing
is-
something online.
You were.
I take it off. She looks like that.
All right, let's open what we had open and see if it'll find it. Who are you talking about? It's cute.
I'm talking about Venture. Look at her. She's so pretty.
I know, look at her.
She be flexing out all of y'all. She's like, yo, no, my hands. Nobody took Wait until Venture said, that's a Destiny set.
Let them go sleep.
I think we might have something.
She be closing down in the shoes.
Oh, you have everything.
You ain't got everything.
Lucky you.
Everything except the definitions for dot diagrams. But y'all wrote that.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Hey, why do it like that?
Can you make it smaller?
Yep, I'm going to. I'm going to make it skinny. All right. So, y'all wrote outer shell and inner shell, right? All right. So,
I don't know he's
What's that?
That's a show.
all right. Y'all just wrote sulfur a second ago in your notes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if you look at the configuration, and I'm going to do the last two. I'm going to do sulfur and indium so you don't have to rewrite them.
Right.
All right. So sulfur has this configuration, and we want to identify the inner and the outer shell. So the outer shell is the highest main energy level. How are we going to find the highest main energy level? Not the exponents.
The letters.
Not the letters. The letter. Remember, these are sublevels. Okay, those are sublevels. Those are the electrons. That's right, the coefficients. Okay, these are the energy levels, or N. That's why we learned all that crap. So those are the energy levels. So which energy levels are the biggest in that electron configuration? All right, 3s and 3p. It's the 3, okay? N equals 3 is the largest. So all of this right there is the outer shell. That makes exactly what Chris said over there. That makes all of this the inner shell. Okay? Because if you're not in that dark green outer shell, by default, you're automatically where? You're on the inner shell. Okay? Are you with me on that?
Yeah. Okay, question.
Yeah?
So anything past that 3 is the outer shell?
Anything that is in the 3
Oh.
doesn't have to be past it. That's why I'm going to do India. All right. So let me write indium real quick. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, 3d10, 4p6, 5s2, 4d10, 5p1. All right, what's the largest energy level here? It's a 5, okay? So 5 is the outer shell. All right, how many 5s do we have? 2. You may not always have 2. Did everybody hear me say that?
Yes.
You may not always have 2. So these 2 examples do, but you may not always. So this one and this one. Now, notice they're not side by side. Sometimes they may even be further apart. If you get down like where polonium was, polonium has a D and an F between their 2 outer shells. Okay? Those are the outer shells. And that makes everything else, this And all of this crap, that's the inner shell. Okay, including this 4D. Okay, so that's why I said we couldn't say what Rosanna said a minute ago about everything after the 5 is the outer shell, because that 4D is sort of smushed in between that 5S2 and 5P1. Okay? Are you with me on that? Now, to answer Nikaya's question from earlier about why'd you make us learn how to draw them arrows? Because we need them for the dot diagrams. We have to draw the dots like the arrows appear. Okay?
So ain't that just arrows?
Yep. Now, we don't need to draw all of the arrows. We only need the arrows for the outer shell.
Right.
So, if we look at how 5S and 5P would look, okay? So, 5S would have how many arrows above it? Or lines? Let's start with the lines. How many lines would it have? Have one line. And how many arrows would we have?
2.
And you know it'd be one up and one down. All right, 5P has how many lines above it? And I have how many arrows? All right, so when we draw indium, because this is the one we're drawing, all right, first of all, I want you to imagine a box around it. Don't draw the box, okay? If you do, I want you to then draw indium below it. All right, how many sides are around the box?
4.
The maximum number of dots any dot diagram can have is 8, because you can draw 2 dots here, 2 dots here, 2 dots, and 2 dots. That's the maximum. Okay? Now, if Annabelle was here, we could laugh because she'd, I'm sure, make some kind of joke. All right? But when I grade papers, people, without fail, draw stupid stuff every year.
Hey.
Yep. And I get dot diagrams that look like this. Now, what did I just tell you the maximum number of dots was? Yeah, I know. So if you don't know the answer, you should guess between 1 and what?
8.
Don't draw me rings, okay? Between 1 and 8 should be your guess. You should never draw something that looks ridiculous like that. Okay? So,
So you draw the number of.
we're going to envision 4 sides. We don't draw a box around it. Yes, sir. Yeah, just going back. Yeah, the recycling for me is there, and just going back anytime y'all need it and grab the other. All right, so you have how many arrows here?
2.
And they're together. They're paired, right? So you draw 2 dots that are together or paired on one side. It does not matter which of the 4 sides you pick. I typically start at the top. You do not have to. Then you have a single arrow. It's not paired. You need 1 single dot. See how you have 2 empty orbitals?
Yeah.
You need 2 empty sides.
So can it be on either side?
Can be on either side. When I grade your dot diagram, I'm looking to see do you have 2 dots together, a single dot, and 2 empty sides. Does not matter which side they're on. Okay? Everybody there?
Can you draw a box too?
No. That's why I said don't draw that box. I only drew the box to illustrate that there are 4 sides. We don't draw the box. Cynthia. Yes, I'm getting ready to go back to that one. Okay? Everybody go to the indium. All right, so if we go back to sulfur, all right, sulfur has an outer shell of 3s2, 3p4. So S has, again, how many lines above it?
1.
How am I drawing those arrows?
2.
And they're together, right?
Yep.
3p has how many lines?
3.
All right, and I have how many arrows?
4.
So how am I drawing my 4? Together. And then come back and do that, right? So this time, when I draw my S, all right, I have an S, and I have 2 that are what? Draw it on some side, doesn't matter where. Like I said, I start on the top. You do not have to. 2 that are together, and 2 that are separate. So when I grade yours, I'm looking to see, do you have 2 dots that are paired, 2 more dots that are paired, and 2 dots that are singles? They do not have to be in that same pattern that I have. Okay? But it should be 2 pairs, 2 pairs, and 2 singles. Are you with me?
Yeah.
You got your homework from last night? I want you to draw the dot diagrams. That's why I told you to leave
I thought this
space.
was gonna be like so much harder.
It's not hard.
I'm gonna draw it. That 84.
Okay, draw me a dot diagram. Unless you only have 4 F's. Or just an F and no T's. No.
I know, I'm just saying.
Two things. Pair. So 2 dots paired. 2 pairs. 2 dots paired. Single problem. Single problem. Correct. Dot diagrams are the easiest thing to check. I don't need to see your work.
Your grade is.
Germanium, hold on. Yes, yes. Except that it's yes, not CE. Yes. And yes.
It won't.
So I look at this, you got 2 pairs, single, and an empty side because you got an empty line.
This wall.
You know what we should do, Miss Wall?
What should we do?
Nap time.
Well, we already did it, but like, we can just copy what we already wrote.
Copy what we already wrote on what?
On our
Polonium's all right.
Really?
No. Because they don't have enough electrons. That'd be right. We should have a.
Someone's like, I'm gonna play it. Put it on one of maybe 2, 3 days.
We should have a.
Shane told me something.
Not like that.
Yeah, they were knocked out.
Was he cute? Oh, snoring. Oh, was he?
I said you were something.
Was he?
You know, like, you had to move it.
He should have got you.
Oh, wait.
Really?
Oh, God.
I didn't think you knew that plastic. It's like.
But my guess is you got a drum.
Oh, I read your KR.
Yeah, because you're.
Yeah, like I've heard them before, but do I know they are?
Yeah.
But it's like the vision and the retinas, I was like, oh, no, it's too, like, what is trauma?
I have that back up there. What? Hang on, I'll be right there.
It still looks like green light green, so like.
Yeah. But it's probably the same mistake.
Not very accurate.
Let's try that.
All right, Cheyenne.
I don't usually like read.
I just like.
Because remember, there's 3 rooms on a page because there's 3 pictures, there's 3 lines, and the electrons are like children. They're going to take their own room first. They're not going to share until they have to. So everybody took their own room, and then whoops, mom dad had another baby. Somebody has to share. So that one had to share. Okay, you're forcing everybody to share, including a playroom for all the toys to go in. Because there'd be a 3rd line that's empty. They're not going to have a 3rd line that's empty. Okay. Right. I'll let you get that song step on. Because I squished some poor dog. Nope, you got a bigger number. Who's a number bigger than D? Yep. That's right. Correct.
Which are we doing today?
If he doesn't make it
Here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, you can.
I wish I could. I really want to.
Yes,
Are you gonna?
yes, yes,
Are you
yes,
gonna enlist?
yes.
I don't know.
You should.
Wow.
Have fun.
Anybody else?
But then again, if you don't like exercise, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Says the one with the broken ass.
Right, right.
Like exercise, I'm like 120 pounds.
Too easy. Because we have to look over the fire.
Yes, yes, yes. Looks like a 6S. Not a CS. All right, can we look at some answers? Before Cecilia doesn't get the color today and she wants to take me out. All right, so CR. What's the highest energy level? 4 is the biggest energy level you had. So how many dots should we have? And they're paired or separate?
Paired.
They're paired. So CR should have 2 dots together. It does not matter what side they're on. Okay? GE, what's the highest energy level you have? The 4S and the 4P. Okay? Now, if you did not correct your homework and it was wrong, you were doomed to get these wrong. All right? So GE has 2 dots that are together, a single, and a single, and an empty line, so an empty side. Okay? Number, whatever, CS. What's the highest energy level in CS? 6. Did you catch anything?
No, I think they found everything. He's got to.
Seal holes.
Oh yeah, it's like they found another like this in the soffit in the roof.
I still want to see a picture of a flying squirrel.
Yeah, me too. The last one was dead and smooth, so he would have.
Oh. All right, so we get how many dots? Okay. Everybody good?
We already got snakes in the school.
What?
No.
Right.
All right, dude. Now everybody's going to be looking at the toilet going, I'm not sitting down. Especially the girls. All right. So polonium. This is the one a lot of you had wrong because your configuration was wrong and you didn't correct it when I put it up here. So what's the highest energy level? So you got a 6S and you got a 6P. All right, so you've got 2 dots together, 2 dots together, and 2 separate arrows. Now, would I give you one like that on a quiz?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Well, can you go back to GE?
Bottom.
All right, and the last one's krypton. What's the highest energy level? 4S, 4P. What do you notice? They're all doubles. So you got 8. All right, questions about the dot diagrams. Now, at this point, we know how to do 6 of our 8 questions on the quiz. So we have to learn how to do shorthand. All right? So, now we get to color.
Yeah.
Now, we're not coloring for the sake of coloring.
We are. We're so excited about chemistry. I just heard.
They're going
Teach me how to do that.
color. They're going to color. We're going to color blocks today. We're going to color rows and columns on Monday. SPDF blocks today. No.
Oh my God.
Colors.
Right here.
Now, for those of you who do not have colored pencils, in a minute, not yet,
Right now?
not yet, not yet. You will need 4 colors. Do not get them right now.
6.
I will give you a moment to get them. First, let me explain what you're coloring so that you know what you're doing when you get up.
Wait, what we getting at?
Oh, it's like an activity or something.
You thought rules.
Just say it.
There's a reason I said be still and let me explain.
Look at it.
Explain.
Yeah, because look at it over there. Now listen. Now, you have a periodic table that looks just like this. You need 4 colors. They do not have to be the same colors I'm using. They just need to be 4 colors. Now, we're coloring these in the sub-levels. Caleb, what did I just say?
I didn't get up.
I think you violated the premise of what I said. Okay?
He's not wrong.
Now you got attorneys all over the room. It's good to know you have one. Now, the S block, notice I'm coloring helium as an S block element. Okay? Now, from there, you need the P block. So, the P block will be all of this. And I'm not trying to be neat on mine because I'm just trying to make a point of where the blocks are so you can get your colors and get it done. All right? That's the D block.
I thought you said it.
Did I say it's D?
Yeah.
All right, P is here. Everything except where I colored in helium, because helium is S. And then down here, that will be F. Okay, now, do not color so dark that you will not be able to put numbers here, along here, here, and here. Okay, this is not a museum piece. You have 15 minutes max. That's to get the pencils, to color, and be ready to number. We're not creating a museum piece, people. We're not hanging it up. We're not individually coloring blocks or anything else. And if we need to sharpen, let me grab some hand pencil sharpeners so that we can sharpen. No.
Miss. Oh, can we use this pencil sharpener right here?
I'm pretty sure this is what keeps breaking it every year. So here's some handheld ones. No, I'm pretty sure that's what keeps breaking it.
Up there, to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right. Which right? She got it. She has it.
Okay, you can't use this pencil.
Yeah.
Well, she's a Mexican. She's a demon.
Well, I don't want to put them in ugly colors. Like, look at this. Green, pink, yellow, and black. Never gave me that band.
You're giving us a little time to do this. Even sharpening the pencils count as time as wall. Sharpening the pencils.
I won't even eat it. I like that.
Yeah, we did that too.
Oh, yeah.
There's the handheld ones right there.
Everybody color red.
I get paid $9 now.
These are only younger sister. Well, where's it?
No, I just looked at my stuff and seen that it was saying that.
You grab it here.
I'm pretty sure that you
Yeah.
Okay, where we going? That's not what I'm saying.
When I do it.
No.
Oh, that's Linda's.
No. No, you.
Yeah.
Do you write the X and E on your
Huh?
Do you write the letters?
Yeah, be sure to label the letters. Make sure you label the block. Label the letters.
What? I know you're not. Just like going along with somebody. She doesn't expect to move. I don't know, but I don't like you. She said, "This is great." I'm sorry, nobody encouraged you to go out.
I lost my
Right, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So what, though?
I didn't figure it out.
Yeah, but no.
These work way better.
Yeah, they do. They came with color companies, which is why I was thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah, they came with a set of color companies. And then I took those out of the box they came in and put them in the tax box.
Whatever. It's not-
I didn't know it was Howard Jordan, but she just kept doing it small.
Think about color difference.
Right.
What? Like, I heard that.
Just kept like doing the littlest thing. Smoking my arm and getting in the way. We gotta share this spot here. I know it's small and you small too. So
Look at the top of the roll closest to me. Found one?
I'm hurt.
Go where? Yeah, if you can color those 4 things, we're done for the day. You'll need something dark to put the numbers in. Pen, pencil, black, something.
Put what numbers in?
Energy levels.
Wait, say sorry. Sorry, buddy. Say sorry. Well, you just.
I'm pretty sure I heard my cat yesterday. She scratches at the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I went in there.
I was worried. I thought it was a bad sign. And he said, "What homework?"
I didn't know where.
I was like, this is a trap, though. You know we don't know each other like that, but I'm back.
I gave us a benchmark. I got 15 minutes of class.
Did you finish it?
No.
I did.
I had like a hard question.
Right.
So
Next question, I got 12 minutes, so yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
hazardous right
Oh.
I like it. She can do that.
Yeah.
Noah, you cut it off. Thank you. I forgot.
That's me.
Wait, do it work.
What did I say?
Crazy.
Go ahead, get up.
No.
They start taking off my
Just
shirt.
will you look
First.
crazy? Me.
Driving. Yeah. I was there with you.
How we going?
I'm throwing my hair out for it. I don't.
Right.
Are we about ready?
I should probably try to. Oh, I haven't done that. Never mind.
Well, like, I'm talking to this guy, right? So I'm
Probably get my shoes.
I've done this before.
Well, yes. What does titanium. What is that's art.
Alright, you ready? Alright, so let's put some numbers on this.
Oh, no, I don't know about this.
Alright, I would recommend a dark color, and you need to label these with energy levels. And I point that out because next week we're going to color code group names, which some of you may have learned before. And I'm going to add a whole bunch of crap to this next week. I'm going to give you a completely different one to color code. But we're going to add periods and groups. So I point out that these are energy levels that we're putting in because they will differ from periods and group numbers. So the first set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, those are the same as the period numbers. For the D sublevel, the easiest way I can teach you to remember this, other than flat out memorizing it, is what is the first energy level that can have a D?
4.
3. Very good, Cynthia. All right. So we start this with 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can we put it in the box?
You can. I just typically write it on the line so that it's at the beginning of the D sublevel. Now, for the P sublevel, it's your choice where you write the numbers, okay? Or really which number you start with. I don't typically put a number here for the S sublevel, but you can. If you want to write a 1 for S, you can. I typically don't, but knock yourself out. I typically start numbering at P. So what is the first number that a P sublevel can have? That's right. So start it with 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, for the F sublevel, what is the first F sublevel you can have? So 4 and 5. Now, what you've just created are notes. Color-coded notes.
I like those.
You cannot, ever hear you use the word not? Cannot use this on a quiz or a test.
You cannot not.
So you can't not.
You cannot use them on a quiz or a test. I will give you one that you can write on. So you may draw on it, you may label it any way you wish, but you cannot whip out your colored one and lay it on the desk to use. Okay?
How do we read this thing?
I'm getting ready to show you. Rosanna.
Is the one supposed to be with the helium?
The one would be with the helium if you want to label yours with the helium. I typically don't, but if you want to, knock yourself out. All right. Does everybody have it labeled the way they need it labeled? Because I'm going to turn the page and get rid of all of this so that we can read it a little easier. Now, if you want to write examples down, I recommend that you do it in your notebook and not on the periodic table, because on Monday, our periodic table is going to become so cluttered. Some of you may want to go back to this one to add things to, because some of you are really going to complain and go, well, I don't have any more space. And I will recommend you come back to this one and add to this one. Okay? All right, so everybody knows where S, P, D, and F is. I'll just write the letters very quickly, but and you've got your color-coded one in front of you. And again, I'd write my examples in my notebook. We read the periodic table just like we read the pages in a book. You start at the top left, you read left to right. When you get to the end, you go back to the left into the next line, okay? So let's say that we're going to write the configuration for silicon, which is one that we did yesterday, okay? We're going to write an electron configuration. We'll do shorthand in a minute because I have to teach you how to write shorthand, all right? So the way that I was doing this earlier, we write silicon. We don't even need to know how many electrons it has. What's the first number I see? What block am I in? How many elements do I have? 1, 2. So 1, S, 1, 2. That's where I got that from. When I get to the end of the row, where do I go? Back to the left. I drop down one row like I would the page on a book. What's the next number I see? 2. I write 2. What block am I in? How many elements do I have? 1, 2. I write 2s2. When I get here, I cruise across the row just like I would the page on a book. What number do I have? 2. What block do I have? How many elements do I have? 6. Just like P block is supposed to have. When I get to the end, just hang with me. Where do I go? Down a row. What number do I have? 3. What block do I have? How many elements do I have? 2. Keep reading across. What number? 3. What block? B. I count the element I'm doing. 1, 2.
Oh, see, that's that wet.
Okay,
This was just
This whole time.
No, it's designed to do that.
This is really
Yes.
weird.
Okay, so on the first one, I got 1s2. So
I counted helium is the first, hydrogen's the first one, helium is the second one. They're both in the S block. That's why we colored them as an S block element. You colored them the same color, right?
Right.
Yes. They're both an S.
Okay, so
Yes.
so we did 2s2 because that was in the same block.
They're in the same block. They're both S's.
Okay, that makes sense.
You
Okay?
should do LR all the way to the bottom.
LR, I need to teach you something else.
Oh, whack. Whoa.
I got to teach you one other thing, which I'm going to when we do shorthand. I don't want to start 1S to do LR.
All right.
Do what?
To do MT, which is all the way at the bottom of the chart.
We can. I got to teach you how to do shorthand for that one. They're look, did I put the numbers on your chart? 57 to 72.
Yeah.
Okay. You see how we jumped from 57 to 72?
Right.
I got to teach you how to go from here to here before I do the things at the bottom
This
yet.
is different.
Yes. Some genius decided to cut the periodic table apart and take this set out and move it to the bottom.
Why is that one down there? You told us one time it's radioactive or something.
Well, no, the periodic table was too wide. So they just took it out, put it at the bottom, and shoved the periodic table back together. So when we get there, we got to go to the bottom, and then we go back up. I haven't told you how to do that yet.
Well, can you like give us like a?
But Faith needs me to do another one of those. So can I do one of those for Faith, and then we'll talk about the bottom. All right, so Faith, pick something towards the top. Just don't go below like HF. Write out what steps. Read it. I don't know how to write it down. So she wants to do titanium. We're doing this one. All right, Joyce. You and Faith. All right, so what's the first number we see? You and Faith. What do we see there? So we write 1. So what block do we have? Okay. You and Faith with me on how I got that?
Yes.
Okay. How many elements do we have in that S block? 1 here. 3 across. 2. That's how I got 1S2. Okay. Once you get to the end of a row in a book, where do you go? So you go to the next one. What number do you see? What block is this block? So we write S. How many elements do you have in that row, Joyce? So that's where we got the 2 from. You with me on that? Okay. You keep reading across the row. What's the next number y'all see?
3.
Y'all have jumped the row. Y'all are here.
Oh, over there. Okay. 2.
Okay. 2. What block is that? And then count. How many elements do you have right there? 6. You write 2p6. Okay. When you get done with that and you come back over here, you have what? Yeah. Till you get to the element you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to here where I circled it. So we're not there yet. So what comes next? You see how Faith got 3S2? Mm-hmm. All right. What's next? You do the next one.
3p6.
Yep. All right, Faith, you do the next one. All right, 4S2. All right, Joyce, you're up. We're going here, and you're doing the next one. After 4S2, we have what?
3.
It's 3. What block? So 3D, and how many do we need to get to TI?
But do you count the
You count the TI.
Okay, so then 2.
Yes. And then you stop, because that's the one you're doing. Yes, sir.
Do you remember you did those wiggly lines?
Uh-huh.
Explain that.
I'm going to. That's where we're going next.
Oh.
All right. All right. Shorthand. How many of y'all are tired of starting at 1S2? Miss Wall is. All right. Shorthand or noble gas configuration. Okay, depends on the text or the author as to which one they call it. Means the same thing. I typically call it shorthand, but a lot of books like to call it noble gas configuration because you use a noble gas to write this. Okay, when you look at a periodic table, the noble gases are here. Okay. If you don't know where the noble gases are, I would. Now, we will label them on a periodic table on Monday, but for today, you need to know where the noble gases are, and they're in that group. Okay? Yeah. Yes.
I'm talking about mine. What are you talking about?
She's doing what?
She's roasting your illustration.
No, I was not. I was
It's
talking
okay.
about mine.
My illustrations have been roasted many, many times.
No, but I was talking about mine.
And after we do the next unit on the periodic table, y'all will be sick of me drawing periodic tables. Mhm.
It's not that bad.
She's shaking it.
It's just like
Can we what?
Can we stop here?
Can we stop here? We could. We could. I just don't plan to.
Oh, wow, you're funny, you're funny.
I tried. All right, so shorthand notation has the noble gas before your, make my brackets a little bigger here, your element. Okay, whichever noble gas that is, the one that's before your element, and then you write the remaining electron configuration.
It's already the same difficult.
Is that supposed to be the bracket?
Yes, you got to write brackets around the noble
I
gas.
meant the remaining electron configuration. Is that supposed to be in the bracket? That's just too small? Or is it supposed to be outside? Oh my gosh. Okay, what I'm trying to say.
No,
Okay, the
that would be the
remaining
stupid
electron-
expression on my face.
Okay, so the remaining electron configuration, is that in the bracket?
No, that's outside.
Okay.
Thank you for translating what's on.
That's exactly what she said.
I know, but somehow the way you enunciated it made more sense in my brain. I don't know why, but it did. You just needed to translate.
Favoritism.
It is. I don't know. Somehow it worked. Maybe it's because she said it 2 more times too. I just needed to hear it multiple times. You just should have kept
It's
saying it.
okay, Miss Wall, we get it the first time.
I just didn't. Clearly, y'all are smarter than I am.
It's okay. Are you smarter? Are you smarter than 5th grade?
No, I struggled with that game.
Are you smarter than high school?
All right, does everybody have it? So we can learn how to do one of these today.
No.
Maybe 3. You know, I don't like to do 1.
1.
I like to do 3.
Well, let's go, Miss Wall. 2.
I think we're still writing.
2.
Faith is still doing something. And I know.
Right.
Ain't
Ain't nobody learning about science configuration.
I haven't met it. I haven't. We might be done. I think we're done. Second time it's rebooted the second period today.
Yes.
Do it all over.
Our page.
Are they not gonna fix it?
That's a message from Paul.
I mean that.
Just lost it all again. All right, it's time for homework tonight.
Oh.
What? Everybody said.
Oh.
Oh, look, now.
All right. Yeah, I did. All right.
Checking it, guys.
Yeah, I might do quarter for us next week. All right. So orbital notation. Orbital notation. Let's draw gallium and iodine. Electron configuration. Let's do lead and palladium. And for dot diagrams, let's do 2 you already did.
Somebody is calling his Bowers on machine.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. Let's do gallium
And helium.
and lead. You already did them, so it'll be easy because you already got them going on.
Why would we do way?
I'm getting ready to. Let me restart this stupid thing.
You said for dot diagram of gallium and lead.
Yeah.
I forgot. What is this?
Oh.
While I do a tech help for this stupid computer, maybe do something about
What
it.
is this? We're not playing that.
What are you doing?
Say hey to Annabelle. She's gonna watch.
What is that?
Hey, if you want, hit stop.
Bye-bye.